Greetings everybody, Redbeard here. As you can see, I'm driving and also being filmed at the same time because I have a camera person with me this time. My lovely wife, Jill. She's going to be joining me for this particular road trip. We're on the way to Cameron, North Carolina for Omega Championship Wrestling. They got a big show up there this evening. It's featuring a genuine dream match. You hear people throw around that term a lot in wrestling, but this is the legitimate article here. You got the Hardy Boyz teaming for the first time in gosh knows when against the Briscoes brothers from Ring of Honor and also other promotions there. That's going to be a heck of a match. Been looking forward to this show for a long time, to be honest with you, because of that match. Big fan of the Hardys, big fan of the Briscoes, so the chance to see them clashing here was not something I wanted to miss. It's been a pretty good little road trip for us. We've been on the road here for about in the area of 2 hours. We got about another hour left to go. We stopped for a little bit at south of the border, which is a world-renowned truck stop slash tourist haven. I don't know what you want to call it there, but it's a quite eclectic little gathering of stuff. It's worth stopping by if you've ever gone up and down 95 along the corridor between North and South Carolina. If you ever find yourself in that patch of the woods, definitely stop by and take a look at it. Pretty fun to see. But like I say, we're on our way to Omega. Omega is something that, for a lot of people, myself included, who are wrestling fans, exists as something of a mythological creature because you've got this history behind them in that they were the breeding ground for talent like the Hardy Boyz, Shane Helms, and so many others who went on to careers in ECW, WCW, WWE, known all over the world. All of them seemingly came out of this one little area in North Carolina. And Omega was where it started. Omega, unfortunately, was only around for a short period of time and not around for a lot of people to really latch on to, but it's been brought back. Shane Helms and some other people are involved with the production now. They've been running shows, I want to say, for about a year and a half regular. They don't do them every month, but they tend to do big events like this whenever they do put on a show. So we got, like I mentioned, the Briscoes and the Hardys coming up in the main event. They've got other talent on the card from promotions like Dragon Gate, in that you've got you got the Bravado brothers, Harlem and Lancelot, C.W. Anderson, Caleb Conley, Cedric Alexander's going to be here, Cyrus, a whole bunch of good talent. Trevor Lee and Adam Cole are also going to be here. So it's going to be a big show, a lot of good talent up here. I'm expecting probably a full house, if not pretty close, because again, you got the Hardys in their hometown here basically. So we're looking forward to it. We've had a good trip here so far, and we're just going to enjoy the countryside until we get to our home away from home for the evening, which is the Best Western in Southern Pines, North Carolina. We'll give you a little idea of what that's like too whenever we get checked in. But for now, this is number 4 of Rasslin with Redbeard. We're on our way, like I say, to Omega Championship Wrestling. See you in a little bit.
In 10.9 miles, turn slight left.
I'm Jill. I am Redbeard's wife. He does this new little show called Rasslin with Redbeard for each venue that he goes to. He wanted me to be on it for tonight when we go to Omega Championship Wrestling. Well, I don't know much about wrestlers, but what I do know about is the clothing, the people watching, and sometimes the banter, which is funny to me because people are crazy. So tonight, if he does ask me questions, it better be in reference to that, because that's all I know about. So here is Redbeard.
The thing you have to realize about it, this little lady that I've got, who's my wife now, our relationship started close to 6 years ago now. We're coming up on our 4th anniversary of having been married. So that means I've been wearing that little thing right there for quite some time now. And it's never felt heavier than it does right now. But the truth of the matter is, she's been up and down the road with me a lot. We used to go to NWA Charlotte here a long time ago. That was the first promotion I think we ever really went to shows together for regularly, other than maybe like a WWE show here and there. But we've been there all around South Carolina. We've been to, for example, Porterdale, Georgia last year for Chikara. So I've taken her to a lot of places. I think of all the places that I've taken her, probably there was a bar show in Charleston that we went to one time that I don't know that she's still recovered from yet.
Needless to say, every time he asks me if I want to go to a show, I ask if there are restrooms available for women and if there will be hay or any other odd things on the floor.
That's something I did not think of, because there was a show and it was for it's for what eventually became PWX as we currently know it, Premier Wrestling Experience. They had a show at a rec center in York, South Carolina, and building looked decent on the outside. We got inside and there was hay on the floor, and this is a concrete building, not like a barn or whatnot. There was hay there. So yeah, that was another interesting story that she and I have together in terms of wrestling and whatnot.
He takes me to random places. I've had body fluids land on me as well as very large wrestlers. However, I still love him because he loves wrestling and it is a good show.
So on the way up here, we are not really familiar with this part of the world. North Carolina has different laws and regulations when it comes to gambling than South Carolina does. We saw a lot of places that are labeled as sweepstakes. I'm not exactly sure what that involves, but there are a lot of them, and there are some that are pretty ratty looking buildings, but they have names like Big Winnings or Big Time Sweepstakes or something like that, and it's a shack that looks like you could probably lean on it hard enough and make the thing collapse. But we're not quite sure what the deal is there. Pretty funny to me though that there are a lot of sweepstakes in North Carolina.
So back to tonight's show. There is one match I am interested in seeing. It would be Matt and Jeff Hardy versus the Briscoe brothers.
Why is that?
Now, reasoning behind this. The Briscoes have been hilarious in my mind since I have seen them. Let's see, the first time we saw them I think was at Ring of Honor show in North Carolina.
At Metrolina Expo.
At Metrolina Expo, as Rob just said. And they were just hilarious. They don't care what other people think about them. They're hardcore. They'll throw anything at you. So I'm interested to see what they throw at Matt and Jeff Hardy. Plus, the two Hardy Boys have always been really good wrestlers. They've been in the professional circuit. So I really am interested in seeing that match. Everyone else, I don't know much about them, except maybe Caleb Conley and Cedric Alexander, because I've seen them at a few shows. But I'm not sure about the other guys, although I'm sure they'll be great. I am interested in the main match, though.
See, she says she doesn't know much about wrestling. Then she starts talking about wrestling. You hear that, fellas?
But it's the main event. Let's keep that in mind. The main event.
That is true. That is true. I have to give her that. So she knows what she's talking about, though. We're in our illustrious home away from home here, the Best Western in Southern Pines. I want to show something to you just because of the fact that I've never seen this before, but make sure I don't kill myself getting back in my chair. This is the remote control that we got, and you can see
Fresh.
it's a fresh remote. I don't know if this is a brand new remote, but if it's not, the fact that we got a fresh remote is pretty hilarious to me, because I've never seen that before. And I've stayed in, I mean, we've been to Las Vegas, we've been to Disney property hotels, never seen a fresh remote anywhere. So that's hilarious. It's kind of awesome though, because there are people who don't like germs and whatnot who would, I'm sure, appreciate this. So you want a fresh remote, come to Best Western. But we're settling in here. We happen to have gotten a hotel that's situated between a Texas Roadhouse and a Buffalo Wild Wings, so we're at least going to eat good here this particular trip. But we got about, let's see, it's just shy of 4 o'clock here now, so a little more than 3.5 hours to bell time, and we're going to be making our way to the venue, which is about maybe 20-25 minutes away from where we are currently. And well, see how the show goes. We're both looking forward to it. Should be a fun time. Hopefully going to be talking to some other people there. Think I'm going to have James Strong Style Shaver on the show with me. He's a big wrestling fan, and I'm sure he'll have some interesting comments, so look forward to that. We'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Turn left to Union Church Road, and then your destination is on your right.
I think we might need to go that way, though. Gymnasium, those things over there. There's definitely people over there, but that way.
Do you see the line?
So you can zoom in and get a shot of it.
You can barely see people's heads.
Still gives an idea of how many people are here, though. It must not have, well, it's not 6:30 yet.
Yeah.
Shot of one.
That's not your elbow, that's your neck. Use your elbow.
James Strong Style Shaver. James, appreciate you being on the program here with us this week. I know we've got a stacked lineup here to go this evening, but what do you think of the card so far for Omega here in Cameron, North Carolina?
It's not been a bad card so far. The match that stole the first half was Adam Page and Trevor Lee. Back and forth matchup. Great wrestling match. Whether you're a fan of old school or strong style, it was a great wrestling match. The other three matches were not bad. Not a bad match on the show, actually.
Trevor Lee is something else. He just brings something different almost every time to a match, and it's something to watch him perform. You know, it's amazing to see him.
Yeah, Trevor Lee, he knows how to get your attention. He's a great heel. he's very good at making you hate his guts.
Absolutely.
He can make. I mean, he can send a cold chill down your spine. I think he actually in the Mid-Atlantic or in the Carolinas, at least, he is the best heel around today.
Oh yeah. And Trevor's something else. I used to see him in his fun athletic guys days there as well. But what else are you looking forward to here locally in terms of like PWX and whatnot? What do they got coming on here?
PWX still has the feud between Caleb Conley and Cedric Alexander for the PWX title. They're still feuding over that. That's the big deal over there right now. You got Los Pendejos and Worst Case Scenario feuding over the PWX tag team titles. Right now, those are the two big feuds in PWX right now. Basically, what you got going on PWX are random matches. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. They're very entertaining, but right now you got those two. Those are the two big feuds right now, and random matches. That's the thing in PWX right now.
Well, tell us a little bit about the strong style thing, because I know that you call yourself James Strong Style Shaver, and it's cool to me because I like that style of wrestling. I think it's awesome to watch because it adds a level of realism that you don't see in a lot of wrestling these days. So where did you first pick up on strong style from?
Strong style, I fell in love with strong style actually not that long ago. Actually 13 months ago. My first, how I would say, what got me in strong style was a match between Cedric Alexander and Adam Page at PWX at the Tremont Music Hall about 13 months ago, where Adam Page had his nose broken. It was a very, very physical match, and when I saw that match, I felt like I was home at PWX. I felt like that's where I belong. That was my home promotion. That's where I want to be. So that's what got me in love with the strong style. And after that, I started following ROH, Evolve, Dragon Gate, and CCW. Expanded to those, and so that's the style of wrestling I like today.
Yeah, it's something else, and it's not something that every wrestling fan has seen. I would like to see it a little more widespread. It's an awesome thing to watch there. Well, James, I appreciate you joining me here. We still got at least, I'd say, maybe 2, maybe 3 matches left to go. I know we got the big 6-man tag, and then also the Hardys and Briscoes here. They might stick a third one in there, I'm not sure, but we've got a lot to look forward to here still left tonight. What do you think is going to happen between the Briscoes and Hardys?
Briscoes and Hardys, I think Hardys go over since this is the Hardys' home town. I'm rooting for the Briscoes, being the strong
Me too.
fan. But I think the Hardys are going to win. But I think it's going to be a great match.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great match.
It's a legitimate dream match, and you don't see that billing often living up to it. So I'm looking forward to it here this evening. Well, James, I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, man, no problem.
Sorry. Them boys.
Yes, sir. Honestly, no.
We're back from our evening of Omega Championship Wrestling. I'd say it was a bit of a marathon event. Started late, They had actual security at this event, which is totally unheard of when you talk about indie wrestling, though. You never see the type of security they had there this evening. Actual metal detectors and cops, the whole 9 yards.
We were wanded.
Yeah. What can I say other than they were doing a thorough job? So thorough that they created a delay and the show didn't start until about 8:15 or so. But we're just getting back to our hotel room here. It's just shy of midnight, I'd say. And we did stop at Sonic for a snack and some drinks. But yeah, so we've had a full day when you consider the fact that we left home this morning at about 9:30 or so. Mm-hmm. Got up here, stopped at south of the border, and then we've been at the show. We got over there about 6:30. We were in line until right at 7:30. So, fun show though. Undercard was quite good. Got to the middle section there, and it kind of sagged for a bit, but still pretty awesome to see the Briscoes and Hardys go at it there. I know that was your favorite part of the show there, though.
That's my favorite.
Yeah.
The Briscoes should have won.
Yeah, I'd say so too. They definitely manned up, but when you're talking about the hometown boys, hard to get over on them. But you never know. I think old Jay Briscoe's got more to say to Matt Hardy when it comes to the Ring of Honor scenario there, because he's got some answering to do to old Jay and hashtag
Dem boys.
There you go. That'll wrap it up for Rasslin with Redbeard number 4 here. Thanks to Jill Truesdale, my lovely wife, to James Strong Style Shaver for also joining me on there. We'll see you down the road.